That sounds like Alan Partridge, doesn't it? I'm here. So, thank you for tuning in to our in-depth Bridge Too Far stream, which is nearly already at 600 views. Good news, we're going to do another one because a couple of people have been in touch with me who I met before, and actually I got corrected on a couple of the location things, and I just realized there's a lot more to say about the making of the movie. So rather than talking about the scenes of the film and the actors and things like that, we're gonna stick strictly to the making of the film, and we're gonna do another stream probably in a few weeks' time, and we're also going to be doing The Longest Day. So if you're a fan of the film Longest Day, that's coming. Tomorrow we have the Judge Dredd stream, and then on Wednesday we have top 5 horror films from 1970 until 1990. What are yours? Join in the chat. You can vote too. But until then, it's on to another horror story, and Melissa the Magical.
Hey!
What an introduction. I couldn't top that, could I? How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. How are you?
I'm very good. I see that you're in the Love Hearts room. Excellent.
I am, yes, yep.
And accompanied by the dogs, no doubt.
Oh, yes. Never far away.
I can't hear them right now, but I'm sure we will. Greetings, programs. I think that's from Tron. Isn't that from Tron, that line? Greetings, programs. I think that's from the movie Tron. I haven't watched it in quite a while.
No, I haven't seen it for a long time.
Yeah, so we're on Jungle of Horrors Part 2. We haven't got into the Jungle of Horrors yet, but we're not far away from it. So to recap, for those who may not have seen it, the other day, with the mighty Mel steering my decisions on the path of wisdom, we travelled by boat, first of all, to the town that we're currently in, I think. I think the town that we're currently in is called Tharo, if I remember rightly. No relation to the planet of Skaro, which of course is filled with Daleks. Yeah. So yeah, we're in Tharo. I'll tell you what, Choose Your Own Adventure Doctor Who book would be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
that would be good. I bet a Dalek one would be fantastic. I'd love to write that, but I don't think the licensing on that would be a nightmare.
Yeah.
But that would be good. Okay, so we're gonna share the map here. So this is a Choose Your Own Adventure. It's quite a niche stream, different from the stuff I normally do, and we are fathoming our way through this particular area. Going to increase the size of the map a little bit. We are currently in the town of Tharo, which is down here. I think we've just gone to see the... Oh, that's right. We had just been attacked by the monk in that temple. Supposed to be
poisoned our dinner.
Poisoned our food. That's the only time I've eaten food willingly, because I thought we're in a safe place. It's like the Order of the Monks. It's all cool. And they've been infiltrated by the bad guys. So from now on, no eating food that is offered, no matter how delicious it smells. Okay. I better have the book handy, hadn't I? Let's get it off the shelf. So we had got to, I think, a section where, that's right, we had that strange bug thing talk to us in that dish. I found some items. I took some arrows. I took a couple of meals. And Pado said, come, this room chills my blood, because we've decided Pado, our red shirt accompaniment on this adventure, is posh. We followed him and we descended some stairs and turned to 259. So we're still in the temple in the town of Tharo. No relation to Skaro. Okay, 259. Okay. The stairs lead to a vast network of catacombs that stretch in every direction. What's the betting that one of these catacombs leads to the swamp? Okay, it'll be easy for you to lose yourself in this maze, but your Kai tracking skills, heightened by the pressing need to escape from the monastery, help you avoid the hazard and dead ends of these sprawling burial vaults. Following the sound of dripping water, you discover a circular stone trapdoor in the ceiling. Pado cups his hands around your foot and lifts you nearer the tunnel roof, enabling you to open the trapdoor. Early morning daylight streams into the passage. As you lift the slab of wet stone and slide it aside, you have emerged in the courtyard on the north side of the monastery. Ah, we're still in the monastery then. 2 monks stand guard at the double doors. Well, we have to assume that they're all bad guys. Fortunately, a line of bushy fruit trees encircling the courtyard provides you all the cover you need to avoid their watchful eyes. You crouch in the shadows, wait until they leave their posts. A minute later, the doors swing open. They reappear, both on horseback, and ride off out into the through an archway to the right. The courtyard is now empty, but you curse their departure, for the horses they are riding are yours and Pado's. If you choose to enter the stables, go to 54. If you decide to escape on foot through the archway, turn to 72. I think we should have a look in the stables first.
I think so, yes, definitely.
There might be some sort of magical horse shit or something that we're missing out on. We don't want to miss out on exploding horse shit, do we?
No, definitely not.
That's definitely a D&D thing. The stable is full of fine horses, all as sound and as sturdy as the mounts given to you by Lord Adama. So Pado acts as a lookout while you saddle up 2 black stallions, I say. You're making final adjustments to their bridles when Pado hisses a warning. 4 monks, my good fellow, they're coming this way. You mount your fresh steeds and gallop out of the stables, scattering the startled monks who've just reached the door. In an act of desperation, one of the monks unsheathes a sword and hurls it at your back. The deadly blade spins through the air with alarming accuracy. These guys must all be hellghasts then. If you have the Magnified disciplinaries of Hunt Mastery and Deviation, add 3 to your number. If you've completed the Law Circle of Fire, add 1. Okay, so in terms of the skills,
you've got divination. I know that.
I do have divination. I don't have Hunt Mastery. I've only got hunting. The Law Circle I have completed at this time is the Circle of Light. So unfortunately, I don't get to add anything. But I'm not going to say what we need to roll.
Is it hunting and divination, or hunting or divination?
No, it says Hunt Mastery and Divination.
All right.
Yeah, so unfortunately not. All right, we need to do a die roll. We want to roll high. So let's do that. Share screen. And here we are. No, not that one. Not that one. Where is it? Oh, it's here. Yeah. Okay, here's the bigger map. Next to the bigger map is our die rolling app. All right, so D10, here we go. A 3. God, thank God for that, because it said if your total is now 2 or lower, turn to 1, 3, 4. I guarantee you that would have meant we would have been dead. And I'm curious to see if that's the case. So let's have a look. Fortunately, we rolled 3 or higher. Yeah, 1, 3, 4. The sword strikes you squarely between the shoulder blades, sending you tumbling from the saddle. You fall awkwardly, driving the blade deeper into your back. Before the anesthesia of the shock wears off, you are surrounded by your enemies who show you no mercy. Tragically, your life and quest ends here. Fortunately, that wasn't us. But that's one of the times I knew I could see the total is now 2 or lower, because it was giving you every chance to get a higher roll. And I was thinking, oh my God, if we roll a 1 or a 2, game's over. But fortunately not. Fortunately not. The sword whistles past your head and gouges a chunk out of stone from the courtyard arch. You hear the monks shouting, and you dig in your heels, steering your horse through the archway along the narrow street that leads to the quadrangle. At this early hour, there's few obstacles to slow your escape. You gallop headlong through the twisting streets of Tharo. It is not until you reach the town's north gate that you finally rein in your horse to a halt. Turn to 3, 4, 7. Okay. 3, 4, 7. If the name of the player is Lance, you may now take a sip of your wine. Oh, excellent. I'll do that.
Do you need to increase your Healing as well.
Yeah, actually, now you mention it, I don't think I am fully healed. And that's 3 sections, isn't it? Oh, my endurance was 29, so it would have gone back up to 30. So I'm all right. Yeah, I'm max.
Mm-hmm.
The North Gate guards, tired and irritable after a long night's watch, grumble warily as you demand for the gate to be opened. What's the hurry? Growls one of the guardsmen. Matter of life and death, is it? Sneers another. The portcullis finally clanks open and you leave the town, riding the broken dirt track towards the distant hills and the frontier town of Sayada. Right, so if we stop sharing screen for a moment and put this one back up, I think we'll see the town quite clearly on the map. Yeah, so the town of I'm going to zoom in a little bit. There's Sayada right there. Okay, and as we can see, Esme still having a paddle in the swamp. Right, okay, we're going to have a few options here. By midday, you're among the hills. The terrain becomes increasingly rocky, undulating like a storm-tossed ocean. Tall plains grass has given way to sad little plants, scraggy and deformed, stunted by the winds that sweep down from the barren wastes of Ogia, wherever that is. Don't know, somewhere north, I'm guessing. The track passes through a narrow valley where a small stone cabin stands beside the entrance to a disused mine shaft. If you want to look at the cabin, turn to 85, investigate the mine, or continue along the valley. Well, I think we need to investigate.
Yes, definitely.
Cabin first. I think cabin first.
Yes, I think so.
There might be a sign in the cabin that says, "Do not go into the mine. It's about to collapse." You know, something like that.
Yeah.
All right. You peer through the circular window. Hold on a second. Oh, as you approach the cabin, you catch a glimpse of a face at the window. So sorry, I forgot to mention that. But anyway, we'll still go to the cabin. You peer through the tiny circular window where you saw the face, but the gloomy interior appears to be deserted. The stone cabin consists of 2 rooms, one at the front, one at the back. Anyone at home? Pado crawls out. He doesn't actually say that, but I'm making him say that line. Silently, you motion to Pado to investigate the rear of the hut while you investigate the front. If you have the discipline of deviation, turn to 94. We do. So we'll see. You sense that someone is hiding behind the door. That person is armed and intends to attack you as you enter the hut. You can choose to unsheath a hand weapon before you open the door, or you can decide not to enter the hut. Enter weapon ready or not enter?
I think enter with weapon ready.
Okay.
Because if you don't go into the hut, they're only going to follow you into the into the mine, aren't they?
Well, we might hear Pado get attacked as he comes in the back door. So I tried using ChatGPT yesterday to come up with an original storyline using the Lone Wolf universe as a base, but set in cyberpunk, and it spit out some wild ideas with cyberpunk varieties of Kai skills. Interesting. Yeah, I actually, by the way, just out of interest, I wrote to the guys who are in charge of rebooting the Lone Wolf thing and said that I'd be very interested if they ever decided to do some spin-off novels, spin-off adventures set in the same world. I'd be really interested in writing one. And they said they are actually thinking about that. So they'll put my list on the name of writers interested.
Ooh.
So there's also a competition to design a banner at the moment, Mel. Sounds right up your knitting skill street. So I shall forward you the email. Okay, so well, yeah, I think enter with weapon drawn. Might be about to be in a combat situation. Let's see. You push open the door, step inside, your weapon poised to counter any sudden attack. The door slams shut, and a scar-faced rogue leaps out of the shadows and attacks you with a pickaxe handle. Oh, there's a picture of this individual. And we have to go to combat, so I'm going to have to take the map down anyway. All right. Take a look at this this mean person.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Combat skill of 17, endurance 25. I'm going to kill him in one round. I've got a difference of 13 on him. It's hardly worth sharing screen to roll the dice, but I'll do it all properly anyway. Right, okay, so here we go. It is a 9. He's dead. That's a KIA. I can tell it. I know without even looking. So no damage to me. He is killed. 3, 2, 1. Well, that'll teach you to stand behind a door wielding a weapon. Rogue slumps dead at your feet. He does not slump dead. I kill him in half, clearly. Seconds later, the door to the back room splinters and breaks as Pado hacks through it with a sword. What kept you so long, you ask, cheekily, when finally the door gives way and he staggers into the room. Right, okay, so in the room, there's small sacks, each filled with nuggets of silver, stacked in a huge mound that reaches the ceiling. No wonder he fought so desperately. There's enough silver here to pay a king's ransom. You may take some of the treasure before you leave. Each sack of silver counts as one backpack item. If you choose to leave the cabin and continue up the valley, or do you wish to investigate the mine that no doubt is filled with a monster? Right, well, first of all, I've got to decide if I want to take a sack of silver or more. Currently in my backpack, which is almost full. I've got room for one more item. I've got rope, 4 meals. Oh, actually, no, they're in the herb pouch, the fire seeds, aren't they? So I've got, hold on. I've got, each meal counts as an item. So I've got rope and a meal. That's 5 items. The herb pouch, 6. So I've got enough room to take 2 sacks of silver nuggets. So might as well. 2 sacks of silver nuggets. I feel awfully weighed down with all this stuff. Very D&D. Okay. Investigate the mine.
Yep.
Okay. I think always investigate the mine. Do you remember that there was do you remember Golden Nuggets, the cereal?
Yes.
Do you remember way back in the day when cereals used to do, like, they did promotions, like the Weetabix did Asterix, which was a really popular one, and you would get some cardboard cutout Asterix. The Golden Nuggets one, they did like a spooky mine thing, and it had like a map of a mine on the back. I can't remember if it was like a game or whether it was just a diorama. I don't know if you remember that.
I don't. I never actually had the cereal.
Not allowed in your house. Too much sugar.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Nailed across the entrance to the shaft is an old wooden board. It warns you to stay away. The silver mine was closed down shortly after the main tunnel collapsed. 20 miners were buried alive. Their names are carved into bit props that surround the entrance to the shaft as a memorial. You're reading the list of names when you hear the tap of a hammer breaking stone. It's coming from somewhere in the depths of the shaft. So maybe that's just there to put people off. Enter the mine or leave the mine and continue on your journey towards them. What do we think?
Enter the mine.
Okay, I'm leaning more towards going to the marsh. So if this results in my death, I reserve the right to come back and retrace my decision. But we're going.
You can go to the marsh if you want.
Now you're my guest, Mel. So you duck under the board and steep into the gloom, taking care to tread lightly around the mounds of rubble and pools of water that obscure the tunnel floor. Soon the light from the entrance fades into total darkness. If you have a lantern, a torch, a tinderbox, or a Colte fire spear, turn to 283. I've got most of those things. So 283. Let's 283. 283. If your name is Lance, you may now take another sip of wine. Excellent. Good. That's my last sip of wine, but it does install 10 endurance points. In the flickering lights, you're able to see that a large section of the tunnel floor ahead has collapsed. Gingerly, you edge around the deep hole and continue along the passage. The hammering grows louder until you arrive at a new tunnel branching off to the left. Recent excavation has exposed a rich vein of silver ore that glitters brightly in the dim light. As you peer down the new shaft, you see a dwarf in a miner's hat. He's hammering at the ore with a mattock. If you choose to call out to him, turn to 165. If you decide to leave him to his work, you could return to your journey and, basically continue on our way. I have a feeling he's going to have like miners' fever and be all angry. But, I mean, we're here now, so persisting with the line of inquiry, perhaps we should I mean, it's up to you. My thought on the matter is this is a bad idea.
Let's leave him to his work then.
Yeah, I think so. Shall we look to see what it would have said if we had called out to him? Okay. The dwarf stops hammering. Is that you, Fleischer? He asks, squinting along the tunnel. When he realizes you are not Filcher, he curses and hurls his mattock at your head. You duck aside, but the pick-like weapon spins past and catches Pado full in the chest. He screams and falls at your feet. I told you he had a red vest on. Desperately, you try to save him, but the wound he has received is fatal. Anger wells up, and you turn to confront his killer, only to find yourself staring at the bell-shaped muzzle of a bore-melly musket. The dwarf pulls the trigger, and you are decapitated in an instant by a blast of buckshot. It may be of some consolation to learn that your killer did not escape unpunished. The shockwave of the blast brought down the tunnel ceiling and buried him alive. Tragically, your life and quest ends here. Okay, so as I said, Mel, I want to go on into the jungle.
Yeah.
Anyway, we did both agree not to disturb the dwarf, so we would have gone back anyway. Right. Track continues along the rock-strewn valley floor through a thicket of stunted trees that climbs slowly towards a ridge of hills whose peaks have been worn smooth by countless years of wind and harsh weather. You stop briefly at a babbling stream, allowing your horses to drink. Your rumbling stomach reminds you that you are hungry and in need of food. Sadly, you are now out of wine, but you must eat a meal or lose 3 endurance points. Okay, so 3 endurance points it is. No, I mean, sorry, I've got 4 meals. So what am I talking about? Just going to eat a meal. I could actually also, because we're out in the wild, I could use my skill of hunting to forego that. But I'm going to not use that because we're pushed for time. On reaching the crest of the ridge, you look upon a sight that sends a shiver down your spine. Okay, I think we've possibly got to the edge of the swamp. 24. Oh. In the distance, you see a pool of dense black smoke rising into the sky. At its base, there is a fortress wall and a cluster of cottages which are feeding the greedy flames. Syada burns. To the north of the doomed town, an army of black-clad troops covers the hill. The black wolf-head banners of Ogia sway on long poles, fluttering grimly above the ranks of the merciless horde. Along the track, a great procession of men, women, and tear-stained children come towards you. Some are on horseback, some in carts, some have bundles of possession clutched to their soot-blackened chests. Here and there are soldiers, weak and weary as the rest. No, it's a line from War of the Worlds.
It is, yeah.
They stumble forward in silence, their eyes filled with terror and despair. A soldier bleeding from a deep wound to the head, I told you there were some soldiers, rides past, and the crest shouting, turn back, the armies of darkness are approaching. And in fact, there's a picture of this man. There he is. Yeah, and then there's also some people retreating. One of them appears to be smoking a fag of some sort. I don't know what he's doing. Yeah. Okay. It's impossible to continue westward along the track. The dirt road is completely clogged with refugees from Syada, and the Ogian Horde stand poised to launch an attack from the hills. Only 2 courses of action are left open to you. You can turn back along the track, or you can ride west across the hills towards the Mordril Forest. See the map before making your decision. Well, I think we should.
Mm.
Let's have a look. Turning back seems like a very long-winded way to reach the swamp.
Yes.
Zoom out a little bit. Right, this is the Madril Forest here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it seems if we go west and we go through the forest, we could get to the swamp and still avoid the creatures.
Yes.
So, yeah, do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, 311. The forest is filled with the army of the dead. Your life and journey ends here. Doesn't say that. You and Pado wheel your horses around and follow the crest of the ridge. Expertly, you manage to steer them down a steep bank of loose shale, then spur them at the brisk pace along a dried-out gully. Soon the gully becomes a stream. A rumble like the sound of a distant storm warns you that the vast army of Zegron, war chief of Ogier, is now less than 20 miles away. Well, 20 miles is all right. I'm quite happy for them to be that far. Turn to 136.
Yep.
136.
Do we need to restore any points?
No, I'm at max. I'm at max.
All right.
I haven't taken any damage yet. You follow the stream until it enters a long corridor of towering trees, which descends towards the bank of a swift-flowing brook. It is a tributary of the river Syad. Oh yeah, I see it. Okay, just south of side, so we need to cross that. You stop here to bathe your faces in the stream's icy water. Ah, okay, very good. And you stare at the mass of blue-green giant trees that fill the western horizon. The Madril Forest, says Beto, with a note of intrepidation in his voice. Hang on. The Madril Forest. It was a wondrous forest once, a place of light and goodness. The trees grew strong here, and the birds and beasts were the fairest of any forest breed. However, the Mordril has grown dark and dismal of late. The Darnag encroaches, feeding its sickness to the soil and poisoning the saplings and the creatures that dwell here still. It is a doomed forest, doomed to become part of the Darnag swamp. You realize that Pado is not a most cheerful guest. Okay, remount your horse and cross the brook. As you climb on the opposite bank, you notice a set of freshly made tracks in the softened earth. If you have the Magna Kai discipline skill of pathmanship, which I do, turn to 256. Okay, well, we have that. I knew that was the first skill I picked of the higher skills, and it's probably been the one I've used the most. So at first you think the tracks are of a black bear, the paw prints being of similar size and depth, yet a closer examination changes your mind. These prints were left by a biped, a two-footed animal that walks upright. You've never come across tracks like these before, and judging from the sizes of the prints, you do not want to meet the creature that made them. Okay, turn to 342. What are our options now then? 342. You urge your horse up the steep bank across the fallen branches that litter the trail beyond. Less than a mile from the brook, you hear the sound of rushing water. The track bears north, and you see a roaring waterfall cascading into a rocky pool. A huge tree has fallen across the pool, creating a bridge and a track leading straight towards it. You're halfway across the tree bridge, looking down at the swirling spray, when a ghastly howl rings out above the thundering noise of the waterfall. You look up and stare slack-jawed at the creature that is advancing towards you across the tree bridge. I thought we wanted to avoid this creature. Why have we gone this way? Okay. 212. I have a feeling this is... Oh, okay. Right. Well, we have a picture of said creature. Half man, half I don't know what. Creature gives a strange snickering cry as it slowly edges nearer and nearer. It's a huge pear-shaped beast with a... Well, I don't need to describe it. You can see it in a minute. If you have a bow and you wish to use it. Yeah, I think we do.
Yeah.
Here it is. It's this thing.
Ooh.
Actually, I have to go to the combat screen, so we may as well do this. Yeah, with goat-like legs. Notice the tactful placement of the hands, hiding any embarrassing genitalia. So, David Macy's in the house. Thank you for joining, sir. Do like and share the stream, as I know you do often. A weekend of filming done. Back to normal life again. How are you all? What were you filming, David? I saw there were a few indie films shooting this weekend on my timeline. Were you perhaps working with Sean Cronin on one of his 70 current productions? Let us know in the chat. Okay, so we are in a combat situation, pretty sure, shortly. Definitely we're going to use the bow, I think, because he's kind of advancing across the tree log thing, isn't he? So turn to 17.
It gives you a +3, is it, the bow as well?
Yeah, that's correct. It's correct, but that only gives my combat ratio with the bow of 21. I think I need to check something else, but I think it's 21. Your horse is panic-stricken. The tree is too narrow for it to be able to turn around, and Pado's mount is too close behind you that you're unable to back up. Pick a number from the random table. If you've completed the law circles of fire and light, add 3 to the number you've picked. If you have the weapon mastery with the bow, add another 3. Well, I have a +3 bow thing, so I can add 3. Okay, right. Well, we want to roll high on this one, because I'll tell you why in a sec. We're gonna add 3 to what we roll. Here we go. That was going to be a 9. 3. Okay, if your total is 7 or lower, turn to 6. I'm not happy about this. This better not be your life ends here. The arrow misses its mark by several yards, streaking away into the forest. Hurriedly, you shoulder your bow and make ready to hand draw a weapon as the beast closes for its attack. Turn to 333. Okay, well, I think now we're going to be in a combat situation. 333. Okay, this thing's called an anapheg. It's got combat skill of 18, so not that good. But it's got endurance of 50, Mel. So you're deducting from 50. Unless you have the magnified discipline of size screen, reduce your combat skill by 2 for the duration of the combat, for the creature is also attacking you with the power of its mind. Oh, by the way, both of our horses have reared up and fallen headlong into the watery abyss. Pado leaps from his mount as it falls, grabbing hold of the edge of splintered wood, and he's slipping off the log. So, but I've got to kill the creature before I can save him. Okay, all right. Well,
have you got size screen?
I don't think I have. I think I've got the psi attack. Let me have a look. I have psi surge. I do not. So my combat with all my things is my combat skill +2 for the shield, +10 for the summer sword is 30. So -2 is 28, but that's still 10 above him. So we're still in the second highest chart. So I could still kill him with a single blow if I get a 9 or a 10. I could kill him in the first round. Get in!
10.
Back of the net. 10. We like that. We like that. Okay, 10. Nice. Good. So, screw you, buddy. Scaring my horse. 197. Okay. The foul creature howls its death cry and topples over the edge before it is out of sight. You turn and run along the tree bridge, your hand outstretched to grab Pado's arm. Just in time, you save him. A second later, he would have met his red-shirted Star Trek death. To continue, turn to 31. There's a picture of a claw thing here, which I think is supposed to be the creature's death throes as it disappears.
Oh, yeah, as it lands in the water, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, right. Okay, so put the map back up. Wow. At least I got the high die roll when I needed it there. All right, okay, so turn to 31. How about some sections with some choices, book? What's going on? Okay, well, we've got some choices. For a few minutes, you stare silently at the pool below, but nothing stirs in the seething waters to record the loss of your horses or the passing dreadful Anapheg. All three have disappeared without trace. The distant thunder of battle pervades your thoughts, prompting you to leave the tree bridge and move deeper into the Mudrill forest. The tall trees become denser, often forcing you to turn your body sideways in order to make progress. Right. Gradually, dense undergrowth turns to a carpet of sticky moss and blue-black lichen that clings to your boots like sticky mud. A chill overwhelms you when a thick and pearly mist seeps from the cracks beneath the trees. The many sounds of the forest have been placed by a cold and eerie silence. Here's a funny thing. If you are currently infected with Corovax bacillus, turn to page 237. I better just check. No. If you are not or have been cured, turn to 91. Okay, not much of a choice there. Let's have a look. Twilight is approaching. As the sky darkens, a black bird flies among the upper branches, emitting a shrill cry. There we go. And Mel is available for voiceovers and sound effects work. It settles,
Absolutely.
staring at you for a few minutes, then it flaps away. A little later, you stumble upon a clearing. Shafts of ghostly moonlight pull through a gap in the canopy of leaves, revealing a mound of earth which rises out of the forest mist. You are both exhausted and agree to stop here for a rest. Pado takes a gold crown from his pocket and tosses it in the air to decide who should take first watch. Heads or tails, he asks. If you possess the Magna Chi discipline of divination. Do I? No.
Yes, divination. Yeah.
Divination. Turn to 11. Or you can call heads or tails, which are two other options. Okay, well, we'll turn to 11. Using your Kai skill, you find it easy to detect that the coin shows heads. So, all right, we'll choose heads. 274. 274. We're still not got in the swamp. I mean, we're still not in the swamp yet. Can't believe that. Gone through a fair bit of the book, or a fair few numbers, I think. 274. Beto reveals the coin. You've chosen correctly. You decide to take second watch. You pull your arm around your shoulders and slip into a deep, dreamless sleep. 4 hours later, you take over the watch. Your vigil passes uneventfully as the darkness of night gives way to the gloomy grey of dawn. You wake your companion and prepare to set off once more. Okay, 1:38. Okay, so an uneventful night then. Wonder what would have happened if I'd taken watch. You take watch. You get attacked by 500 creatures. Okay.
Yeah.
The sense of time erodes away as you trek through the seemingly endless expanse of bleak grey trees. Slowly you become aware that you're on an incline. As your passage becomes steeper, you notice large outcrops of pitted volcanic rock. Okay, I think we're getting there. We're approaching the Danag crater, says Pado. His quietly spoken words echo loudly through the trees of the eerie forest. We're approaching the Danag crater. You recall the words of Lord Rimoa during your period of preparation in Elysian. The Danag occupies the crater of an ancient and massive volcano. By noon, you've climbed to the lip of the crater and begun your descent. Gradually, the tall and straight trees of the Mordrill forest thin out and give way to twisted trunks and stunted saplings as the land sinks deeper and deeper. Imperceptibly, the forest ends and the swamp begins. The ground is softer now. Tall black rushes appear in clumps around misty pools of stagnant water. From tortured husks of trees hang thorny vines, as tough and as cruel as sharpened steel wire. So thickly are they entwined around some trees that they have strangled them, leaving empty coils where the trunks have rotted away. Lovely. You wade through ankle-deep slime for nearly an hour before you reach the edge of a murky pool. Whirling eddies disturb its surface, warning of creatures lurking below. Okay, so if you have the Magna Chi discipline of pathmanship and have reached the rank of tulip tree, turn to 203, which I have. By the way, the other options are north or south. I'm going to guess once we've got in the swamp, we're probably going to want to go north, but who knows? Let's see what 203 says. Your Your improved Sky skill warns you that to the north, a tribe of hungry swamp creatures are lurking at the edge of the pool in search of prey. You and Pado would provide an excellent meal for the beasts. To the south, the track takes you away from the heart of the swamp and consequently further away from your goal. So we can go north and brave the swamp creatures, or south and avoid them, but further away. Let me just grab some water. What do you reckon?
Yeah, that's a difficult one. Well, we've tended to go towards rather than away from most of the time, and we're still here, so
yes. Apart from the 2 times when you've nearly killed me, that is true.
nearly, but didn't.
Yes, of course, we tweak the nose of terror. I guess it depends how powerful these creatures are. Okay, prepare for combat. Let's we need to go that way, and the creature's going to be there's going to be creatures in this swamp regardless, so we might as well kill some of them. Yeah. All right, okay. So 36. It's better not say your journey ends here. Okay, here we go. The withered trees are grouped more densely around the northern edge of the pool. Your progress is very slow. Suddenly, dreadful sounds emanate from the mist-enshrouded trees ahead. They are like... Well, that was pretty good because it says they're like a tortured baying of rabid dogs. That's not bad. A host of creeping creatures, each an arm's length taller than a man, arise from their hiding places. Black water drips from their corpse-green hides, and their expressions on their toad-like faces betray their evil intent as they slither and shuffle towards you. Right. If you have a bow and wish to use it, okay. If you have fire seed and choose to use it, if you decide to draw a hand weapon and prepare for combat, chucking the fire seed at them might be interesting.
I think so. Yeah, you've got more chance of taking more of them out in one go.
I think so. Let's do that. I don't think that they're coming up. Oh, right. Snatching the seed, you throw it with all your strength at the crawling lizard beast, slithering towards you on its belly. You watch with dismay as the fire seed bounces off its soft fibroid skull and plops harmlessly into the mire. Remove it from your chart. Damn it. Okay, so we lost that. So we've only got, I think we've only got one of them left now. Hang on. 2. Got 2 left. Okay. Turn to 265. Probably not going to have time to use the bow now. Yeah, well, I said they were toad-like. Does look a bit like Esme again.
It does, yes, a little bit.
A little bit like
Except it's got no ears.
Yeah. Right, you are faced by a monstrous reptile. Its webbed, claw-tipped hands are poised, ready to rend you in two. You cannot evade the combat. You cannot use fire seed during this fight. Yeah, I got that already. Okay, right. Well, it's got endurance of 30. It's got combat skill of 22, so we're on +8. However, I'm going to use my Psi Surge, which gives me a +4, takes 1 off my endurance. That goes down to 29. On the first round of combat only, okay? Because I want to see if we can kill it in one go. So get a high one. So that adds 4 to my combat skill, which puts me on, instead of +8, puts me on the +12 chart, which is, I think, the highest one. 7. That's going to be good either way. So let's have a look. 7 on the high chart is 11 or greater. 7 is 18 damage, and his endurance is 30, so he's got 12 left, okay?
Yep.
I take nothing, okay? Second round of combat, but I'm on a lesser. I'm not using the size screen this time because I don't want to take my endurance down. 3. So this is on the +8. So he has taken 9 points of damage. So he's got 3 left, right?
Yep.
Okay, I've taken 2. So I'm now on 27. That's the sound of the monster we're fighting. Yeah. Okay. Third round of combat. 7. He's dead. He is taken on 7. He takes 14 points of damage, and we take nothing. Okay, cool. So if we win the combat, which we do, that's our first swamp creature killed. I wonder what they eat normally. You leap over the twitching body of the Zorlog and go to help Pado. He's being forced perilously close to the pool's edge by 3 of the growling swamp creatures. You strike from behind, breaking the back of one and opening the side of another. Pado falls, clutching an arm deeply torn by needle-sharp talons. His attacker turns on you, darting its head towards your throat with lightning speed. Its jaws gape wide as it lashes out with a sticky stung, preying your eyes with stinging saliva. Instinctively, you bend forward, your hands wiping the spittle from your face. It's a reflex action that saves you from the creature's grip as it leaps forward to strangle you. Suddenly, it lets out a gurgling croak and falls forward with a thick splash. You stagger back and open your bloodshot eyes to see it lying down in the mire with Pado's dagger embedded in its back. "Look out!" screams your companion as the last of the Zorg attacks you from behind. Now we've got another one. Combat skill of 23. Okay, so I don't have Hunt Mastery. I feel like I might get that next time. Okay, so it's another combat situation. Endurance of 32. I'm going to use the Psi thing in the first round of combat again. So I'm going to take my endurance down to 26. Get us on the top chart for the first one. Let's see if we can kill it in one go. That was going to be a 9. It's going to be a 9. Hate it when it does that. Okay, on the top chart, it's taken 11 points of damage. It's got 32 endurance, Mel.
Yep.
It's taken 11 points of damage.
21.
I have taken 2, so I'm on 24. Second round of combat, I'm not using Psi thingy. Fuck you. 1. Okay, it's still on +8, but even so. Right, the enemy takes 7. I have taken 4, so I am down to 20. I need to do a bit of healing after this.
So it's
Third round of combat.
14.
Yeah, 6. It has taken... Lost the combat chart now. I should have this separately, actually, as a thing. In fact, it would be great if I could combine that with the die rolling app, so the combat chart could be along the top. So if anyone's listening who can do that, please get in touch. What was it I rolled?
I don't know. I can't remember now.
I thought it was wasn't it a 3?
Yeah, I think so.
3, yeah. So on the +8, that's 9 points of damage to him. I take another 2.
So he's on 5 now.
Okay, hopefully this will be the last round. 3 again. Yeah, so he takes 9 again. So he's dead, I'm guessing.
He's dead. Yeah.
I've taken 16. Right, now, before we even move anywhere, I am going to immediately take a potion of lamp spur. That reduces those. I've got 3 of those currently. So that reduces that to 2. That's going to put my endurance back to 22 straight away. And then when we go on to the next section, that'll put it up to 23. So if you win the fight, go to 160. That's the additional 1. The Zorg gurgles its last breath and falls, writhing briefly in the mud before becoming still with an uncanny abruptness. You turn to Pado, drag him away from the pool's edge. His bleeding arm is attracting a crawling horde of hungry leeches. That sounds like that horrible scene in King Kong. You leave the pool and press on along the muddy trail, glancing back only once. No sign remains of the dead Zorg. Their bodies have already been claimed by the fell denizens of the pool. To continue, turn to 192. Okay. Well, the swamp is the Jungle of Horrors is living up to its name. Okay, we've got some choices. Right, so we've gone another thing, so that puts my endurance up to 24. Okay. Right. Okay, so here are the options. You tend Pado's wound before continuing deeper into the swamp. The ankle-deep ooze borders the pool, gives way to firmer ground. There's one of my moderators, Josh, just popping in. Give you a view and a like. Hope you're having a good one. Hang around, Josh. Make some decisions with us if you like. You stop here to rest and dislodge the tiny leeches that are feasting on your legs. Oh, lovely. Pado climbs the tree to scan the horizon. He carries with him a star guider, a homing device invented by the Elder Magai to enable their flying ships to navigate in the dark. That's a good point. Why didn't we just take one of the flying ships? Why didn't we just take the eagles to Mordor, Gandalf?
Well, we weren't given that option, though, were we?
No, we weren't. That's true. To enable the flying ships to navigate in the dark, it is sensitive to the vibrations of cornlithium crystals. The spire of the Temple of Arido, that's what we're looking for, is solid calithium, and the Elder Magai have set Pado's star glider to home in on the vibration. So basically, it's a compass that detects gold.
Yeah.
Okay. By following the directions of these vibrations, you should find the lost temple. While Pado is busily adjusting the star guider, you decide to take a closer look at your surroundings. If you choose to examine the red fruit on the tree, turn to 301. If you want to examine the clear pool that's bound to contain an evil creature, turn to 2. If you decide to simply sit and wait for Pado to finish taking his readings, turn to 177. So, evil fruit, clear pool containing creatures, or hang about?
Oh, fruit.
Okay, but I'm caveating with that under no circumstances are we going to eat them. So if it if we turn to the next section, it says they look delicious. You decide to eat them, you die. I'm saying bollocks to that. We're simply inspecting them. We're at arm's length with my dagger pointing. In fact, I'm going to have my sword out. I'm just saying now, in case they are about to have teeth, I'm going to attack them. I'm ready to attack. Okay, I don't trust anything in this jungle. If it moves, it probably can eat you. The red skin fruit is the size of an orange and its peel is a similar texture. If you possess the Magnakai discipline of Hunt Mastery, turn to 148. If you decide to pick one of these juicy looking fruits, turn to 290. Juicy looking. I suspect they're probably not as juicy looking as they appear. If you decide not to touch these fruits, turn to 177. Well, I don't have Hunt Mastery, annoyingly. So we'll turn to 177. So we're not going to touch the fruit. It's probably going to give us the option of the clear pool or hanging about.
Yeah.
So let's see. When Pado climbs down the tree, his face betrays his anxiety. What's wrong, you ask impatiently. There is no signal, he replies. I have scanned every direction with the star glider, but it cannot detect no lithium. It isn't damaged, of that I'm sure. It's as if the temple has disappeared. You take the device from Pado's hand and climb the twisted tree trunk. He shouts instructions. You set the star glider into operation. However, Pado is right. There's no signal. Without a signal, there is little hope of finding the lore stone of Arido. You're about to abandon the search and jump down from the tree when you see something on the horizon that you've not noticed before. An island of red volcanic rock rises out of the mire, one of 4 flat-topped islands grouped in a diamond close to the eastern edge of the crater. Perhaps the temple is on the other side of the island. Perhaps this is why the star glider will emit no signal. You climb down and ask Pado what he thinks. He stares to the north and ponders the problem. Yes, it is possible, he says thoughtfully. It is just possible. To continue, turn to 292. Okay, give us some options. Give some options already. 292.
Do we need to increase our endurance?
We do. That was 3 sections, because that was examining the fruit, climbing the tree, and then discussing with him. 27. Right, now I forgot what we were saying. Okay, here we go. Hope returns and your spirits rise with the expectation of finding the lost temple. You set off without delay before sun sets and darkness engulfs the Darnag. For the most part, the swamp mire is firm underfoot, and the inhabitants pose no problems that cannot be solved by a few shouts or well-placed weapon blows. Yet as the sky darkens and you draw nearer to the plateau, the going becomes more difficult. A carpet of vines thick with mould covers the surface of muddy holes and hollows. Often a seeming puddle proves to be a deep water fissure. That your progress becomes so slow, you fear you will never reach the island before dark. Turn to 307. Give us some options already. Right, okay. Pado is leading the way across a tangled mat of barbed vines. Suddenly, the great head of a silver swamp python bursts through the rotting creepers. Oh dear. It raises its tree-thick coils high in the air. Awesome jaws with double-tiered fangs. Yeah, well, we've got a picture, so I don't need to read out the description. Here it is. I think we're going to be in a combat situation pretty soon.
I think so.
Now, if you possess the Magna Chi discipline of animal control and have reached the rank of primate, turn 45. Well, you remember when we had that big bloody snake before?
Yeah.
I thought it might be useful to have that skill. That's the one I picked because I knew we were going into the jungle of monsters. So 45, I do have it. Let's see what it says. You draw upon your skill to repel the awesome snake, but it is very hungry, and the smell of Pado's warm flesh entices it closer. And he is inspired by his red Star Trek vest of success. Pick a number from the random number table. If you possess the discipline of invisibility, I do not. Add 3 to the number you have picked. Okay, so we need to roll 7 or higher. And we don't have a plus. So let's see. 5. Oh dear. Okay, I think we are in a fight. 155. It's possible that this may be where Red Star Trek Pado meets his fate.
Yeah.
I just don't think he's going to survive this journey with us, you know. The great snake flickers its tongue and lurches forward, intent on consuming you both in its massive jaws. Okay. Combat skill of 20, that's good. Endurance of 48. Now, owing to the swiftness of its attack and Mel's slurping, you do not have time to use a bow unless you possess the Magna Chi discipline of curing, which I do, and have reached the rank of primate. You double all endurance points lost during combat, other than self-inflicted losses for a psi surge due to the snake's venomous bite. Well, I do have that, so I'm not going to lose double endurance. Thank God I picked curing. That's good. That was on the last book. If you win the combat, turn 62. Now, do I risk using the psi thing? At the minute, it's got combat skill of 20. I'm on 10. Actually, no, I'm on the plus 10. So I'm on the second highest chart. So we've still got a chance of killing it in one blow if we roll a 9 or a 10. Okay, so we'll stick with it. It's got endurance of 48, Mel. Here we go.
Yep.
Round 1. 3. It loses 10. So it's down to 38.
38.
I'm on 25. Okay. Keep going. Come on.
Oh.
It loses 8.
So it's on 30.
I'm down to 22. Okay, I'm going to use Psi Surge. I go down to 21. We're on the maximum damage chart. 7. If one higher and we would have killed it. We take no damage. It takes 18.
So 12.
Okay. All right, standard combat 5. It is dead. It takes 12 points of damage. I take 2, down to 19. Okay, I am going to use a potion of lamp spur, so that takes me down to 1 potion of lamp spur. And I'm going to take my endurance back up to 23. And then when we go to the next number, that'll go up to 24. Because I'll be using my curing thing. If you win the combat, turn to 62. Will this be the moment where it tells us that red-shirted Pedo has died from its poison? 62. Okay. The arrival of the swamp python frightened away other denizens of the mire, but they are now returning to satisfy their curiosity. Hordes of slithering lizard beasts gather at the edge of the floating morass, inching their way nearer as they assess your strengths and weaknesses. Shit. Relentlessly, you push your way through the soggy vegetation until you reach the jagged rock wall of the island, urged on all the way by a hissing chorus of sinister swamp creatures. Turn to 58. Yeah, well, I don't think we want to stay there. They can eat the snake.
Yeah. We go up 1 in endurance, yeah?
We do. Thank you very much. So now we're on 25. Long streamers of moss-covered vines hang down the red rock walls in huge numbers, inviting you to climb up to the plateau above. After the uncertain ground of the swamp, the hard, jagged rock face is a welcome relief. You make good progress, reaching the top just as the sun is sinking in the Darnag. In the failing light, you discover a trail that winds northward through knee-high foliage. If you have the magnified discipline of pathmanship, which I do, turn to 108. Okay, so 108. Even in the falling light, you can see that this trail is frequently used. The spongy vegetation is crushed flat, and a profusion of tracks are imprinted into the loamy soil. The tracks were made by man-sized creatures, barefooted and webbed-toed, and we know what those are. We've seen them already. Close to the main trail, there winds another less obvious track. For some reason, someone or something has gone to great lengths to keep this trail secret. Well, I think we should use the secret trail over the
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Those are the 2 options. Seeing as we've discovered it, let's use the one that's not going to take us to more toad creatures. 3:30. Okay. 3:30. A full moon and a cloudless sky make your passage along the secret path much easier. It follows a tortuous route through the tall plants around mossy mounds full of crawling insects, past the dark entrances to underground warrens, and then skirts the fringe of a thicket of trees. Pedo halts and crouches down, ignoring the bloated spiders that scuttle around his knees, and points through a gap in the trees to a settlement of crudely made huts. Dark shapes move between them. Human once, but far from human now. Gargrim, whispers Pedo with fear in his voice, the man-beasts of the Darnag. I think wasn't that the Gargrim? Was the Gargrim the thing that we fought on the log? Let me look in the monster.
Oh, I'm not sure.
I'm just looking to see if there's anything about them in Archlord Mag, the Ultimate Kai. See if there's anything about them in the monster manual at the back. Anapheg. No, it was an Anapheg that we fought. Yeah. Okay. Anapheg. Okay. Right. So we got these are the options. In the distant past, the Gargrim were gentle, primitive folk. Yet the Darnak has changed, and so too have the Gargrim. They've been poisoned by the evil. If you choose to approach the huts, if you want to avoid them and continue along the secret track, I kind of feel like we should avoid them on this one.
Yeah.
That's my 229. All right. Oh, hang on. 229, not 329. Yeah, 229. Okay, 229. Does Esme make that noise all the way through the night when you're sleeping?
Pretty much.
God, you must be a heavy sleeper to go like that. I wouldn't sleep. I'd be up every 5 minutes. An hour passes and you breathe a sigh of relief. You're relieved to have left the Grim settlement far behind. You forego any rest and press along the track until you reach a promontory of rock on the northern west tip of the island. There you stop and snatch a few hours sleep while you wait. Oh, endurance up by 2 points for those last two bits. So that's up to 20. Turn to 102. Okay. And this will be endurance up by another one unless it's a combat. Yeah, okay. Day breaks. And the view it brings you fills you with awe. Perched on the rocky peak, you can see for the first time ever the sheer vastness of the swamp in all its frightening glory. Pado activates the star glider and scans the horizon, but even before its telltale clicks are heard, your eagle eyes have spotted the glint of the temple's spire. To the west, beyond a sea of sickly green black vegetation, stands the temple of Arido. It is imprisoned, but seems unaffected by the swamp. Howls of Gogrim echo across the island as you make your descent by rope and vine to the fetid wetlands below. You reach the rocky base and set off across the mud, following the star glider's signal because the spire is now hidden by a wall of swamp mist. Okay, pick a number from the random number table. All right, 5 or lower is one thing, 6 or higher is something else. Well, we still got it there, so there's no influences. Feels like that was going to be an 8, but it's 5 or lower. Lower always is, in my experience, lower is always bad. 278. 278. Okay, yeah. Well, I feel like we're about to be in a combat situation because there's a big monster in this. Right. We see this thing.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't look too pleasant. Let me read out the options. Around a pool of slimy water are gathered a group of vine coils, hollow and funnel-shaped like giant rusted springs. They support huge spider's web. There is no sign of the web's maker, although judging by the size of the rope-like strands, it must be a creature of enormous size. You give the pool a wide berth before finding your way back to where the star guider's signal is strongest. A creeping bank of mist rolls across your path, and the maker of the web looms out of it. Pado stifles a cry as this hairy abomination scuttles towards you, its venomous maw poised to bite. If you choose to stand and fight this creature, turn to 5. If you decide to attempt to evade it, turn to 260. Fight or evade?
Well, I'm just thinking the fight is quite a high number in pages towards the end of the book. That generally means you're going to die.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of fighting this spider. I think we should try and run.
Okay.
I'm imagining Esme sitting there with a little trombone. That is entirely possible, David. That's entirely possible. Okay. Do you think we should fight? I think we should run.
Yeah, let's run.
Okay, we're in agreement. Here we go. You turn and force your way through the cloying ankle-deep mud. The giant spider scuttles closer, lowering its yellow head, ready to scoop you into its maw. If you are to escape from this creature, you must do something to distract or delay it. If you have a meal in your backpack, turn to 34. If you have the magnified discipline of Psi Surge, turn to 250. If you have neither of these things, you must fight the creature, turn to 5. Doesn't sound good. Well, I have a meal in the backpack and I have Psi Surge.
Yeah.
So how many meals do I have? Let's have a look. I've got 3 meals. I think use Psi Surge, I reckon.
Okay.
250. The creature is especially susceptible to psychic attack. There we go. Your mental energies pierce its sensitive nerve center, causing it to crash to the ground in agony. Blinded by pain, Shelob cannot pursue you and makes you make good your escape. Right, so I lose an endurance point, but I'm going to gain it again as soon as we turn to the next number. So I just won't add my additional 129, which will keep me on 27. After your encounter with the tan spider, you are both in need of rest. You've got to eat a meal. Pado is optimistic that you'll reach the temple by sundown. I say, Old Bean, I'm optimistic that we'll reach the temple by sundown. Just as long as you can avoid encountering any more of the Danag's inhabitants. Right, okay, so I'm going to eat another meal. I don't think I can go hunting in this place for food, to be honest. Because, everything that you'll hunt will try and eat you.
Yeah.
Okay, so meals down to 2. Okay, turn to 220. All right, okay, 220. It is late afternoon when you see the Temple of Orido rising majestically out of the swamp mists and tangled vegetation. The sight of the towering ziggurat is so breathtaking that you are both stunned into silence. Right, it's not on the front of the new book, but it is on the front of the old one. Yeah, so just to remind people, that's what it looks like.
Ooh.
And there's Mel's X there on the left. Right. So, okay. Oh, by the way, we just missed Destination Star Trek. It was last weekend.
I saw that. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it was up in Birmingham, wasn't it, or somewhere?
Yeah.
You know what? We should have gone to that. That would have been a good little break for us. We should have gone up there. I did write to them about running the Star Trek game there. And they never got back to me. They just kind of asked me to send a description, and I explained, and I said, it's just for fun and blah, 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 and it'd be great to have it there. And never heard anything. So it's a shame. Right, okay. There's lots of waffle here. So tier upon tier of gleaming white stones, shaped and formed in perfect symmetry, confront you. Huge foundation slabs support a level of carved golden rock. Blah, 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 blah. At its base, the swamp has shrunk back as if repelled by the radiant goodness of the temple. A perimeter of lush grass leads to a staircase of solid amber. You follow Pado as he ascends towards a pair of huge triangular doors set into the second level. Everywhere the glitter of gemstones and the gleam of precious metals radiate a wholesome purity that has been unspoiled by the Danag. Pado completes the complex procedures that open the great doors. They were taught to him by the elder Mackay in preparation for this mission. The doors part without a sound, and you enter, stepping on a floor of glistening gold, a floor that has lain undisturbed for 7,000 years. Bum, bum, bum. Okay. With the sole exception of the visit of the intrepid Baron of Tauren, who would later become the founder of your order, Sun Eagle himself. Yeah, this is where he decided to start the Order of the Kai. Okay, turn to 100. Illustration over leaf. Okay. Great doors close with a whisper. You follow Pado along the corridor. Oh, by the way, at the end of this, it tells you to restore your endurance. I was about to add another endurance, but it says restore it to its original level. I don't like the sound of that. That means something mean is coming up.
Well, we are getting near the end, so
I think so. I think we're near the end. Okay, so you follow Pado along the corridor, gleaming of silver metal that bedazzles your eyes, to a hall scarred of thick crystal quartz. Icicles of diamond hang from the ceiling and reflect in a floor set with mosaics of 1,000 shimmering squares. So looks like that. Oh, hang on. There we go.
Ooh.
So we're currently standing down here somewhere, I think. Pado activates the star guide and scans the horizon, but before its telltale clicks are heard, Oh no, hang on, sorry, that's the wrong thing. I was on the wrong page. Approach the crystal dice, Lone Wolf instructs Pado, pointing to the radiant circular plateau of purest quartz. You mount the dice, and a flood of golden light pours down from above, bathing you in warmth, cleansing rays. Blah 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 blah. And then a ball of light is taking shape in your hands. It condenses into a radiant crystal filled with translucent golden fire. It is the Law Stone of Arido, which is what we're looking for. You may wish to note that you have visited the Darnag for future reference. Restore your current endurance, turn to 239. Okay. I thought there'd be some sort of big monster. Feels a bit too easy, got to say, this bit. The light fades as you step down from the diocese, having senses aglow with a newfound wisdom and strength. Having witnessed the fulfillment of your quest, Pado beams with joy as you return to his side. He congratulates you and bids you follow as he turns towards an archway of silver set into the crystal walls. Come, Lone Wolf, we have a long journey ahead of us, don't you know? We must leave without delay. Your thought of returning to the dangers of the Darnag fills you with dread. Don't look so dismayed, old chap. This temple will provide us with the means of our safe return. You will soon see. Well, this might be a teleportation situation because that's happened. Intrigued by his answer, you follow in silence as he leads you through the archway up a long flight of marble stairs to another chamber, also constructed of crystal, but vined with marble that glistens like liquid fire. It is solid collyrium. At the center of the chamber, its hull resting on a cradle of steel, is a levitron, an ancient skyship. Aha! Like everything else that you have seen in this wondrous temple, the craft is untarnished by the passage of time. Pado ushers you aboard and prepares to power the craft. A shudder runs through the hull as the engines rise in pitch, and slowly it lifts from its bed of steel. The chamber is built in the spire of the temple, and the roof now slides open to allow the levitron to rise into the darkening sky above the Danag, rather. Pado sets the controls, puts the ship Starglider on a course for Elysian. He then joins you at the bow rail for one last look at the temple. It glows red in the light of the setting sun, but the shivering glow is blemished by the shadows that swoop back and forth across its tiers. You assume it's just a trickle of the twilight until your ears are filled by a sudden and terrifying shriek. Turn to 180. Yeah, we heard that earlier. You look up to see a squadron of black-winged Kran. So these are a bit like the Black Rider things from Lord of the Rings, swooping towards down on the levitron. That sounds like something out of Micronauts. Levitron. Yeah. On the back of these leathery creatures ride red-robed Vordaks, hideous servants of the Dark Lord. In their skeletal hands they wield staves of black iron, which cradle and hiss with sheaths of blue fire, which mark them as Vordak lords. Their fearsome spell-casting elites. As the Krans scream past, a stream of liquid blue flame pours from the tip of its rider's staff. If you possess the summer sword, I do. And you know, the last time I was facing these guys, I didn't have this sword because I left it at home. But I do have it this time. Turn to 287 because I went on that peaceful envoy mission thing. I think you.
Yes, I was with you on that one. Yeah,
you were. Okay, right. We've got a battle on our hands here, and then some. Let's get the battle dice up because this is a combat situation for sure. Okay, looks like we've got two of them that we got to fight each in turn. You deflect the streaming liquid fire from the edge of your golden blade, sending it raining down into the Darnag. Two more Krans swoop in and hover above the prow. Their riders leap onto the deck and begin attacking part of the superstructure. Stop them, old chap, screams Pado, drawing his sword. Stop them, or we're doomed, I say. You leap from the bow and run across the main deck, your sun's sword raised to strike. You must fight these creatures one at a time. They are immune to Mind Blast, but not Size Surge. Unless you possess the Magna Chi discipline of Size Screen, reduce your combat skill by 2 for the duration of the combat, or just 1 if you possess the grey crystal ring. Did we get the grey crystal ring? I don't know.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Doesn't ring a bell, does it? No, it's not in my items. These creatures are undead, so remember to double all endurance points damage. Okay, all right. So I am going to. The first one's got combat skill of 22. That puts us on the +8 rating. Now he's the stronger of the two. He's got endurance of 28. So our endurance is at max. So I'm gonna lose one endurance and use the side blast thing on him, which gives us +4, which takes our combat skill to 34, which puts us in the top chart. So our endurance goes down to 29. Let's see if we can kill him in one go with a high die roll. If we get 8, 9, or 10, he is dead. Ha ha!
Yeah.
KIA, no damage to us. We kill the first one. The second one steps back, brown liquid seeping from his trousers. Okay, we'll attack the normal one on the. He's got combat skill of 21, so we're on the 9. We're on the +9 chart. We only roll a 4. His endurance mel is 26. So rolling a 4, he takes 11 damage. We take 2. Okay, second round of combat. 9. I think he's dead. He is. He's dead. We take no damage.
Cool. That was quick.
Yeah, it was quick, but that's because I'm super good. Okay, so it was a good shout using the Psy Surge on the first one because he was the stronger. More shrieking Vordax crash down on the deck. I don't think the battle's over yet. Pado is immediately engulfed by the red-robed figures. He is severely outnumbered, but he fights with tiger-like tenacity. His blue-bladed sword tearing deep into their loathsome bodies, and his Edward Fox-like voice sending a shrill up their spine. You're running back across the main deck when a new danger confronts you. A Kron sweeps low across the sky ship, dropping a cluster of black crystal cubes that strike and scatter across the deck. In other words, grenades. If you possess the Magnified discipline of divination and wish to use it, we can either turn to that, use a Psy Surge, or the third option, which we don't want to do. So
Divination.
Divination. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Divination just tells you what things are. I'm not sure that it's going to stop them necessarily.
Yeah, but you might find that you can't use Psy Surge or something.
You sense that these cubes are set to explode. Should one of them cause a tear in the Levitron's pressure tank, the liquid gas stored inside will ignite. The resulting explosion will tear the skyship to pieces. If you decide to gather up the black cubes and throw them overboard, turn to 50. I feel like the Psy Surge might have given us the ability to blow them all off the side. I was thinking that would be better. So this could be a kind of... The other option is if you decide to help Pado fight off his attackers first. Okay, no, I think we have to gather up the cubes. Otherwise, we're all going to get blown up.
Yeah.
So... but I did want to use the Psy Surge. So if they blow up in my hands, I'm reserving the right to go back. Right. Frantically, you scramble across the deck, snatching up and hurling away cubes as you go. Each cube is vibrating with energy that is set to rip it apart. As you cast the last one over the side, you see the others exploding with dull booms in the swamp below, hopefully killing loads of nasties. Turn to 267. Okay. Pado screams for your help. A swooping Kron rider has cast a large net that smothered his body. The net is sewn with hundreds of tiny barbed hooks that work their way into his skin and clothes. He cannot free himself without the hooks inflicting spiteful wounds. Only one Vordak remains to confront him. All the others have perished on his blade, but he is now unable to defend himself against this creature. He is at the mercy of this merciless foe. Mercy of merciless foe? I think that writing could have been better. You scramble to your feet and rush to save him. As the Vordak creeps closer, suddenly the Cran Rider reappears, gliding low across the deck before hovering over the bow. A length of thin rope dangles down from its saddle, and hurriedly the Vordak threads through the corners of the net. You race up the steps, shouting your battle cry, "For Summerland and the Kai!" and you launch your attack. The Vordak turns to face you, its skeletal features frozen in a mask of terror. An instant later, your weapon shears through its bony neck and sends its skull-like head spinning down into the Danag. Nice. A ghastly cry pierces your ears, but it is not the shriek of pain or despair. It is the malicious core of triumph. The Cran beasts its massive wings, and the downdraft forces you to your knees as the creature climbs higher into the darkening sky. You stare aghast as the ropes that close the net around Pado and lift him off the deck. Instinctively, you leap upward with your hands outstretched to grab the barb net. However, it is too late. The Kran turns in midair and flies off to the north with Pado, wounded and helpless, swinging like a netted fish below its leathery black belly. I told you he had a red Star Trek shirt on.
Yeah.
Okay, but it then says turn to 350, which is normally the end. So let's see if it is. It is. Okay, here we go. Well, I've got a long section to read out here. Okay. Anger and frustration well up inside you as you helplessly watch the Kran and your captured companion disappear beyond the horizon. Gradually, your anger gives way to sadness as you ponder his fate and wonder if he will survive his cruel abduction. My mind probably also turns to the fact that I've no idea how to drive this flying skyship.
Well, yeah.
You pray for his safety, calling on the spirits of your ancestors to watch over him and protect him. As if in answer to your prayer, you feel a sudden calm engulf your senses. The power of the Lawstone, transfused into your being the instant it appears in your hands, has greatly increased your intellect and awareness. Happens to me every day. With confidence, you know that Pado will survive his ordeal and that one day you will meet him and fight again by his side. Oh, well, I'm glad you're confident.
Yeah.
The return voyage to Desi is a swift but lonely journey. The Starglider ensures that the Levitron stays on course for Elysian. As you cross the canal that encircles the city, a pilot skyship arrives to escort you down. During the voyage, you have discovered how to control the Levitron, and now, as you slowly approach the landing platform of the Tower of Truth, you disengage the Starglider and make a faultless landing. So not like Galaxy Quest, then.
Yeah.
Lord Rimoha and the High Council have gathered to greet you upon your return. Upon hearing of your successful quest, their hopes for the future are renewed, in spite of the sad news of Lord Pado's capture by the agents of the Dark Lords. The High Council listens avidly as you tell them of your treacherous journey through Telistria, the perilous trek across the Danag, and the wondrous discovery of the Lost Temple. When finally you have completed your account, they applaud you and pay tribute to your courage and daring, their faces beaming with pride. Yet despite their joyous greeting and fulsome praise, you sense something is wrong. In brackets, this must mean that Book 9 is available. They seem distant, as if their minds are preoccupied with the solving of a difficult and perplexing problem. You ask Lord Rimoha if all is well. Is all well, my lord? He replies, you have grown in perception, Lone Wolf. Many things have occurred since we last spoke, and although your quest for the Lawstone Orido has succeeded, the peril of our age has grown even more deadly. The Dark Lords now wage open war throughout Magnamund, and many lands have fallen before their Gaiac legions. Telestria has been overrun. Okay, well, let's have a look. So this is the kingdom of Telestria that we're in. Let's go to the big map for a second. And move this around a bit. So we have flown all the way back to Desi, and we're in Elysian, which is here. Okay, so the kingdom of Telestria, is that where we were? It is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's right. Yeah, because all of these cities were under attack in the north.
Yeah.
So if the kingdom of Telestria has been overrun, then all of this has now been captured by that massive army that we saw.
Mm-hmm.
Oh dear. Just think, that lovely tap room upon that barge is no more.
Oh.
So too have the Stormland nations. Oh no, I like the Stormlands. So the Stormlands are all of these, they're these 5 nations all south of the Macon Gorge. So they've all been overrun as well. Summerland now stands firm against the armies of the Dark Lord Nag, but she has lost her southern province of Ruanan. So Ruanan is here. So Ruanan's been captured. That's where we had the siege. So this area has all been taken too. Wow, that's not good. The shocking news fills you with an urge to return to your homeland, yet to do so would defeat the Magna quest. Lord Rimmer bids you to follow him to the chamber of High Council. Set into the floor is a circular well, brimming with silvery liquid. What do you see? Rimowa kneels and touches the surface, and slowly a vision takes form within the shimmering depths of the pool. It is a fortified city surrounded by rolling hills. We look upon the city of Tauhu in the land of Anari, says Rimowa, his voice now solemn and composed. This lore stone you must find. Next lies deep beneath its streets in an ancient city that was built during the dawn of Magnamund. The vision of Tahu heralds the start of a new and perilous episode in your urgent quest for the Magna Kai. If you possess the bravery and courage of a true Kai master, the challenge of Tahu awaits you in Book 9, The Cauldron of Fear. Okay, so I just want to, before we wrap this up, I want to see where that is. We look upon the city of Tahu in the land of Anari. Anari's here. Tahu's there. There we go. Look at that. It's not that far. And Slovia is part of the Stormlands, so most of this has now been captured. So I have a feeling that Tahu may well be under siege when we get there.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll be flying by skyship. Okay, so yeah, that's the end of the Jungle of Horrors. What did we think about that book? That one of the
that seemed to give you fewer options than the other books. I don't know, it was a bit different than the previous ones we've done.
I felt the first half of it was better than when we actually got into the jungle. Once we got into the jungle, it was a bit of description followed takes you to a section where you're then asked, do you have a skill or whatever? If you do, then you know to take this path. Yeah, it was Haytarth Platter, good to see you. It was a lot more linear. The second half of it was very linear. Fun but linear. The first half of it I thought was really good because there was a sense of frustration of, my God, we haven't even got to the swamp yet. There were more,
and all those riddles as well.
That the Count Conundrum was a lot of fun, has to be said. Count Conundrum was probably the highlight of the Jungle of Horrors, and he wasn't in the Jungle of Horrors. I mean, in terms of monsters in the jungle, we met the toad things, we met the giant snake. Oh, we ran away from the giant spider. Okay, so there was we met 3 big beasties. And maybe I dare say there were probably more. So we didn't meet the spiky Esme tortoise thing. Yeah, cool. Okay, Jungle of Horrors. That's it. It's done. I've only got book 9 left of the Lone Wolf series. Book 10 is on order. And yeah, okay, so there's the map of Anari and a bit of Slovia in that book. So I'll just put this up. See, we go. So there's Anari there. That's where we're going to be going. And so that's the section that this part of the book is concerned with. The original cover of Cauldron of Fear suggested a big castle siege, and I have a feeling that does happen in the book. Like you're very much involved in the defense of the castle at one point. I have a vague memory of that, and really enjoying it. David Macy is saying less jeopardy than the other books. I mean, some of the creatures were pretty powerful, has to be said. They were not weak. But yeah, we were definitely in more. We got down to, like, one point we were down to 6 endurance in one battle. There was a couple of occasions where I nearly did die in a fight. So we weren't quite as... I wouldn't say it was easy, but we weren't quite as in danger. You're right. Okay, very good. Well, Cauldron of Fear is next. I think I'm playing that on Sunday. We have 2 very exciting streams coming up tomorrow night. Tomorrow night's very late. You'll be asleep, Mel, next to the snoring pooch.
Yeah.
But it's we're doing our Judge Dredd stream tomorrow night. So that's going to be a good one. We're doing Dredd and Judge Dredd. We're comparing the 2 films and discussing which is better. We've also got a prop from the Carl Urban Judge Dredd movie to give away on the stream. I'm just trying to find the poster for it now, but it's evading me. But yeah, it should be good. Should be good fun. Oh, there we go. Dredd. Let me just present that for a second. So this is tomorrow at 11:30, and I watched the Stallone version again recently. I'd not seen it since I saw it at the cinema. I've got the Carl Urban one in my collection, and I have to say that there are some design things that I think the Stallone film did better, even though everybody prefers, for the most part, prefers Carl Urban's Dredd. And then, of course, it was released around the same time as The Raid. And The Raid was about a load of police storming into a tower block where there were drug dealers. And the plot of Judge Dredd was very similar, or Dredd. But I still don't think it was similar enough to stop people from going to see it. So I don't think that was the reason for the lukewarm financial success. I think it did okay, but I don't think it made as much money as they were hoping. Anyway, I'll be discussing that in detail tomorrow at 11:30 p.m. UK time. Then on Wednesday at a more civilized time of 9 o'clock, we're going to be doing the top 5 horror films, which is from 1970 until 1990. I've got quite a few guests coming on for that. I've got the Gourd King. I've got Wayne Byrne, filmographer and film biographer. He's just sent me his Freddy Krueger book, so I'm going to be reading that tonight. And I think we might have Matthew Holmes on that one, or maybe Gary from Outcast Down Under. So there's going to be a few people on that tomorrow. It's going to be good fun. Right. Okay. I think that's it from us then, Mel.
Yeah.
Any last words from the pooch?
No, just snoring.
Yeah, certainly is at that. Okay. Well, look, small audience tonight, but always appreciated that you stuck around and tuned in. Thank you so much for being here. And guys, I'll see you again tomorrow night. The stream is already up for Dredd, so do stick it around anywhere where you think people might be interested. And Mel's already gone sideways. All right. We'll see you all again real soon.
Yeah.
And we're off.